Ranking all the Texans position groups after free agency heading into the draft. The list may surprise you, or we may just all agree. You guys know better. We'll hear from Blankenship as well. We'll also talk about the opportunity ahead for DeMeco, Nick Caserio, and more. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top two.
It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. I am Landry Locker, and it is a great time to be alive. The draft is upon us. The possibilities are endless. DeMeco Ryans, Nick Caserio, with what they've done in free agency, they left open a lot, and I do mean a lot of possibilities when it comes to what they may or may not do. The roster looks very interesting, and I am going to lay out the rankings 1 to 9. We're not going to count quarterback, and we're not going to count special teams. 1 to 9, the position groups, the rankings that I feel are appropriate for this Texans roster and each position. We're going to go through all of them, and I'm sure per the usual, we're all going to agree on every single one. That's just kind of the way it works in this world, or not. But I have that list for you. We'll also hear from Blankenship, new safety for the Houston Texans. We now know he is going to rock number 6. He had his first media availability today. We'll hear what he had to say about ending up in Houston, signing with Houston, and making the rich richer on that defense. Join myself and Cody Stoots. Speaking of the draft, less than a month away from the draft, 2 Fridays from now on the 27th. Join us at Spanky's out there in Sharpstown. We want to hang out with you. We want to eat some of the best grub in the city. We want to enjoy one of the best happy hours there is at our home away from home out there at Spanky's. Always a really, really good time when we're out there. So we hope you'll join us for that next gathering. I think that the stability of the Texans right now, the most stable positions heading into this draft. And you know, I always talk about checkers and chess, and it's basically a way of saying 1 year and 2 year window. But I think the areas that have the most 2 year stability are defensive end, cornerback, and safety, which, spoiler alert, you might see these 3 positions mentioned near the top of a list in a little while. But you look at it, you have Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, both under contract for at least 2 years. I'm assuming that Will Anderson's inevitable extension is going to be more than 2 years. So you have him for at least 2 years. You have Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley for at least 2 years. And you have Kalen Bullock and Blankenship together for at least 2 years. Sprinkle in some Jalen Petrie, and he's in that mix as well. His extension kicks in the upcoming season. So those are really, really stable positions, not just in the short term, but in the long term. Like, I think it's safe to say opportunity could present itself for an edge guy, a D end, and maybe you would consider that with one of your early picks. But I think the Danielle Hunter, the extension, did not decrease the urgency of having to do that. And it's more of an opportunistic thing, a true best player available type of thing, if you decide to do that. You also look at the cornerback situation. I don't think the Texans are going to be in the market for a cornerback. In safety, I think you can say the same thing as well. They're pretty set there with what they got. So I think that's where the Texans are sitting. I think that's the good look right now for the Texans when it comes to the checkers and the chess heading into the draft. I also think there's massive opportunities to upgrade. You need a better center in Jake Andrews. Fortunately, it's a center. If you needed any other position, even guard, if you needed a guard was what you must upgrade, chances are you're getting the second or third best guy if you take him as early as possible without moving up. If you needed an edge guy, there's probably going to be 5 guys off the board before you select an edge guy. If you needed a wide receiver, all bets are off on that. If you need a quarterback, you wouldn't even be able to to start there. But center, you might even at 38 have the first crack at a center. And that even adds to the flexibility and the nice layout that the Texans have heading into this draft. It's as good as a layout as they've had. It's as big as of an opportunity as they've had. And the possibilities are really endless. And the position that you need the most is it's friendly based on where you're at and the draft pick you have. And you look at that pick, the 38th, it's part of the reason that you feel comfortable. And the reason that you have that pick is because you made the Laramie Tunsil trade last year. So you're kind of reaping the benefits of that and things are shaping up. Now, they do need more upside on this roster. And I think there's 2 things that the Texans need really, really bad. We can focus. There's 2 different areas of 2 things that I think we can focus on. One of them is the position, like the positions that you need the most when it comes to upgrading. You need center and a tight end upgrade. You need to upgrade the tight end room and you need to upgrade the center position. Now, maybe you cross your fingers and you hope that Jake Andrews becomes better and that's your upgrade. I don't think that that's something that you just want to count on or you should count on. I think at the very least, there should be some competition. I think at the very least, there should be a day 2 center that is expected to be a plug and play type of guy. And we'll see how that battle goes. And if not, maybe he has a good mentor in Jake Andrews, or Jake Andrews has to battle to make the team. Yeah, Jake Andrews does not have a good enough body of work to where you don't draft a center. So the center is there. The tight end, we've talked about this a lot. The tight end opportunity is there as well. There's another name that was kind of popular, kind of had the internet going nuts this morning. Oscar Delp out of Georgia, kind of part of that pipeline that they have with Washington and Brock Bowers, who was actually at the Georgia Pro Day. He ran a 4.4 today, supposedly. I say supposedly because Cash Jones, the running back, apparently ran a 4.3 when he was trying to run less than a 4.5. So I don't know. I think there's probably a lot of different times, different scouts will have stuff. Whoever's feeding these 40 times on the Georgia beat or whatever is going down. I feel like something's fishy there. Maybe I'm just being skeptical, but just look at the kid. And I talked about this earlier on SNL, but this is Cash Jones. This is the white running back that Kirby Smart always gives it to in like the craziest of crazy situations. But this was on Go Dogs, the website. And I mean, when you expect to run or hope to run less than a 4.5 and you run a 4.3 and you're almost embarrassed of it, it tells me that whoever the hell is running this stopwatch, that they might have been wearing their class of whatever year Georgia shirt as they were running this stopwatch. I don't know who the hell had this. Again, maybe the list of who has it is there, but it just seems like on all the Georgia sites in the underground that these guys, these 40 times were coming out, and you never really know because there's scouts there and they're timing themselves. But here you go. Like if you run a 4.3, first of all, you're not going to go from I hope I break 4.5 to running a 4.3. That's not going to happen very often unless you have a rocket up your ass. And if you do run a 4.3, you're going to be a little bit more proud of it than this.
You said you wanted to show how fast you were. Did anyone tell you how fast you were today? Did they give you a number?
I heard a number. I don't know what number you heard.
I didn't hear a number. What did you hear?
I don't know. I heard 4 threes. But I don't want to start bragging. You know, it's a good time. I'm pretty happy about it. I was kind of shocked a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want anything below 4.5. But 4.3, heck yeah, that'll work.
Shocked. A lot of these guys have pretty good ideas of what their what they're going to run. Like you're trying to break a 4.5 and you got it. Like he's almost embarrassed that even comes out. That's from Dog Central at Dog Central _ online. So look, I'm not sitting here saying that Oscar Delp, if he ran a 4.6 or if he ran a 4.5 or if he ran a 4.7 is someone that you take off your draft board. I'll just be honest. I woke up, I took my daughter to school. We went to Dunkin' Donuts. As I was in the Dunkin' Donut line, I looked down at my phone and it said Georgia's pro day was today. I was like, oh, well, there's a couple of guys that maybe the Texans would like to look at there. So I'm definitely going to follow up on that. Got the coffee, gave the daughter the donut holes, dropped her off at preschool, drove back home, did some stuff around the house. And then all of a sudden I look on my phone and it says, someone said, I think it was Matt Miller. So apparently Oscar Delp had a good pro day today. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what he did. It said 4.4. I said, okay. The guy looks pretty athletic. He seems like he could likely be an NFL rotational tight end, but I watched the guy. We all watch a decent amount of Georgia games, and 4.4 seems a little bit crazy to me, but good for him. Typically, guys run faster at pro days. And again, it's different times. And then I see that Cass Jones runs a 4.3. And I'm like, okay, who is timing these guys at Georgia? So we'll see. I think Delp's still probably a top 5 tight end in a really good tight end class. But come on, brother. Come on, brother. Cass Jones is running a 4.3. And that's not a racial stereotype. Come on. Race car. But I mean, seriously, I was hoping I would break 4.5. I was a little bit surprised. What'd you hear? I want to know who the hell is on that clock. On that clock. I think that's absolutely asinine. I think that's absolutely asinine. Can't believe that. Someone asks, can he block? Yeah, he's a good blocker. He's a good blocker. Shoot, he should be returning punts. He's running 4.4. Good Lord, Cass Jones. He should go race Usain Bolt or something. But yes, he is a good blocker. But I don't know where these times are coming from. I really don't. I'm a little bit skeptical. Am I being a hater? No, I think I'm being a realist on this. Speaking of deceptive speed and the Texans, there's a couple of things that they need, and speed is one of them. I'll tell you what the other two are in a sec. We'll also take a look at the power rankings of the positions. I've ranked 9. We're going to embrace debate tonight. But first, let's hear from someone else with some deceptive speed. Race car! Reed Blankenship, the safety from Philadelphia. He was introduced to the media. I had some stuff going on. I was not there. I have not seen this. I'm seeing this with y'all. I saw some of the generic quotes. I didn't see like any money quote. Let's hear what the newest safety. By the way, he's going to rock number 6 we see right here. So he's going number 6. As you can see, he's got the single digit. That's actually going to look pretty clean. Number 6, number 2. There's rumblings that Lassiter is moving to 3. So you're going to have 2, 3, 6, 24 in the secondary and 5. Damn, you're going to have 2, 3, 5, 6, 24 in the secondary. That's pretty filthy right there. But let's hear from the man himself, Reed Blankenship. It's the first time we're hearing his voice. Let's hear what Reed Blankenship has to say about the Texans. We're also going to power rank the positions. I'm going to tell you 2 things the Texans need. We've already talked about position, but this is just an overall thing. Probably won't surprise too many of you, but let's hear from the newest member of the Texans, Reed Blankenship, right here in the locker room.
Welcome to Houston.
Thank you.
I was watching your podcast with Cooper, and you had mentioned something along the lines that you felt like Houston really wanted you.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious, in what ways did they show you that?
Well, obviously, this is my first time going through free agency, so I really didn't know how it worked. but my agent was giving me live updates, and it seemed like Houston was always the top team keeping in contact with my agent. And I guess it's this new thing now where teams have the ability to call 5 players during the free agency. So I got a call from DeMeco, and just hearing what he had to say, and I could tell that he wanted me, and I could tell that he really liked me as a player. And obviously we haven't met truly in person, but I feel like he knows what my character is, and what my personality is. So you could tell that he really wanted me and really liked me. And after we hung up, I was with my wife, and I'm like, I really feel like Houston really wants me. And that honestly felt like the first time in my whole career, NFL career, that somebody really wanted me as a player and as a person to come and perform for them.
What was the
That was something that we talked about, and JA is gonna take this away in a sec. But I think it's very obvious that DeMeco's wanted another safety. We saw the Jimmy Ward thing, which is why before the offseason, we were talking about that safety. You should not be surprised if they go in on a safety. So he's wanted someone that can kind of do the things that Blankenship does. Jimmy Ward was just washed, and his body gave up on him. And CJ Gardner-Johnson just wasn't a fit, but he's wanted that for a while. So I don't think it surprises me that he said that he could tell that DeMeco really wanted him, because DeMeco has shown us that he wants a safety that can do the type of things that Blankenship does.
the gist of his message to you on the phone?
It's just being real. I mean, obviously just being your authentic self. It was kind of just telling me about the building, about the place, what they're building. And I was already bought in, honestly, and I really loved everything he had to say. And I don't need a lot of peer pressure or anything like that, but it was really cool to hear what he had to say. And obviously, I feel like I landed at a great spot.
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll go to Cole, and then to DJ.
Let's go, Cole. Come on, Cole. Come on, Cole.
Cole, we don't have you. You're not on mute, but we cannot hear you.
Cole, come on, man. Fumble Rooski from Cole Thompson. Goodness gracious.
Cole, I will come back to you.
If you were an SEC safety, you wouldn't have screwed that up. My goodness.
Brian, Sarge, if you want to ask your question, then we'll come back to Cole.
Hey Reed, what's going on, man? Welcome to Houston.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, when you from the outside looking in, I mean, you played on a really good defense in Philly, but when you look at the Houston Texans defense and what they've been able to do, how do you feel that you're able to come in and help to improve on something that's already as good as it is?
Right. From the outside looking in, especially, playing in Philly, I was fortunate enough to be on a few really good defenses, and just sitting back and watching Houston fly around at times. I'm like, dang, this defense is legit. And, fast forward to being able to play for them now. I'm like, man, that is crazy that somebody like a team like that wants me to come in and to perform at a high level. And, it speaks volumes. I feel like, with me coming into this defense, like, I feel like I can give everybody a sense of calmness. That's part of my game. I want to be the communicator out there. I don't want to step on anybody's toes at all, but I want everybody just to play free.
DeMeco loves that communication. He loves that captain, all that. This is his kind of guy.
And play free, have fun, and at the end of the day, just go and hit dudes. That's just part of defense. And
I honestly, like, if you told me that we could bet, like we could make prop bets, I would not. I would take like a long shot bet on this guy, maybe even being a captain this year. Although Petrie's probably got that on lock. But I would take like a long shot bet if you gave me like a 7-1 ticket on like a surprise captain. Because last year Dare Ogunbowale was a captain. That was a joke. That was where Frank Ross cried, and I've made fun of him ever since. But with Dare Ogunbowale out, I would not sleep. If you gave me like the 7-1 bet, I would sprinkle a Twanky on it, on perhaps him being a captain.
I've always been coached like an old school type coach, and I've been born and raised to go run and hit dudes for a living. So I feel like this is a great fit. I know there's a bunch of dogs in the secondary, linebackers, D line everywhere. So super, super excited, super stoked for this, and just ready to build that relationship between all the levels for sure.
And how exciting is it to play next to a young guy like Kalen Bullock, who is slowly but surely rising in the ranks as far as good safeties in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. I played with a lot of young guys, obviously in Philly, and just knowing their work ethic and their want to. And I'm sure that he's in the meetings, asking all these questions, wanting to learn. And that's how I was when I was a young guy. I've always wanted to learn from the vets. And Darius Slay, he just retired. Like, he was one of the big, most impactful guys that I've played with, and just being able to sit back and watch him do his thing, but still be in the league for years, it speaks volumes. But I'm super excited to be in a room like that.
Thanks, Sarge. We'll go back to Cole and then to Michael Shapiro.
Come on, Cole, get it right. My God, Cole. Good Lord. Sheesh.
Michael, do you want to go first? I'll text Cole.
On the streets.
Hey, Reed. Welcome to Houston, man.
Thank you.
Got a two-part question for you here. One, do you plan to continue the Exciting Mike's podcast with Cooper, or
is Shapiro in a damn sauna or something like that? Like, what's going on here? I know Shapiro's a Chronicle guy. I actually like a lot of Shapiro's questions. Although they definitely are headline chasers at cron.com. But where is he? Is he in a sauna? Is he fogging it out? What's going on here, Shapiro?
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the
has that
street.
now ended in your estimation?
I don't think it's ended yet. We're going to figure it out. I feel like it'll be pretty cool to combine two different fan bases and have two different sides of the bridge, especially two different divisions going at it. But I think we're going to continue that, but we'll just have to see.
Okay. And similarly, I saw a clip of you too, and Cooper says, quote, before every effing game, you were in the huddle saying, F these guys, let's go rip their effing heads off. One, are you a guy who likes to give a pregame speech? And two, where does that attitude come from?
So honestly, I've never been the big rah-rah guy. But when I got voted captain, I believe that was sort of my job an opportunity to get these guys going, especially for a guy that's been in that room for longer than, I guess, a lot of the dudes that were in there. And, it's just, they want to hear a voice. And like I said, I'm not the rah-rah guy. But when I step on the field, it's like this different type of emotion. My adrenaline starts going, and I just flip a switch. My wife can definitely tell y'all probably.
Hey, drink. Y'all make fun of me when I say it. He knows about it. Reed Blankenship, flip a switch guy. This is my dude right here. Just because he said that. There you go.
Step on the field, it's like this different type of emotion. My adrenaline starts going, and I just flip a switch. My wife can definitely tell y'all probably in detail that during game day, I rarely even talk to her. Like, I'm just like locked in. Like, there's a certain time that I can't talk to anybody. So yeah, I dedicate the whole day to going out and trying to get a dub. So
good stuff. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Michael. We'll go to DJ and then back to Jonathan.
Okay. Flop a switch. Y'all know.
Obviously, I'm sorry. I want to piggyback up off of Sarge's question. I want just to ask, what is just your overall viewpoints of the secondary pieces that you're playing with, and from your viewpoint, how good could you guys be, and how could you pop them to another level? Because they were already a fairly touted secondary to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're already a really talented group. I mean, I hope I want to come in and contribute as much as I can, but there shouldn't be any fall off. That's kind of my mindset. There should not be any fall off. If anything, like I said before, there should be a sense of calmness. There's going to be another communicator in the back end, and I feel like the sky's the limit for this secondary for sure. I know all these guys are bought in. Why wouldn't you want to be? They all want to win. We have a winning mindset. I can already feel that in the building. So, like I said, I'm super excited to get to work with these guys and really start to build relationships with them.
Thanks, DJ. We'll go back to Jonathan and then back to Sarge.
During the process, was there anything in particular you were looking for in the team? And my next question is, have you been to Houston? What were your impressions if you had, or do you have any plans?
Yeah. So, say that first question again, or the first part.
The first question, I'll ask them separately. First question is, what were you looking for in the team during the
Okay.
free agent process?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just wanted a team to want me. Like I was undrafted. I felt like as an undrafted guy, there not no team really wants you. I mean, you're just kind of just put on a team, and then if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you're just another statistic. But like I said, I really think that Houston wanted me and had this sense of calmness with it, and I don't know. I feel really different about this place. It's a different sort of edge. I feel like to my career, and I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of fun down in Houston.
And did you get a chance to go to Houston? And if not, do you have any plans, anything you want to do when you get down there?
So I did fly out to Houston for only a couple days, but I didn't realize the rodeo was down there, and I didn't know that it was like a whole month ordeal, and they shared the stadium. So
See, this is the practice facility thing. Like a lot, it really is a pain in the ass for the coaches, the staff to go to NRG and perform a work day for the month of rodeo. It's a pain in the ass. You guys, even driving in that vicinity is a pain in the ass. So this is kind of an example of why they're going to get their own practice facility eventually. And you can hear him say, I know it was a month thing.
obviously, like I'm from the South. I'd love to go to a rodeo. I think I'll do that next time I'm down there. The only other time I've been to Houston was I played in Rice in college, but I didn't obviously get to experience the city itself. But hopefully I'll be able to. So
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll go to Sarge and then to Aaron Wilson.
Reed, you know how the old saying goes that defense wins championships. And like we said earlier, the Houston Texans have a really good one, but they've also had some moves here in the offseason as far as the offense is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel that you coming in and being able to add some of that championship mentality on the defensive side of the ball can help that offensive side of the ball, especially in a young quarterback like CJ Stroud?
yeah, I feel like the game plan or the blueprint to winning a championship is not just being a defensive mindset or offensive mindset, especially like this is the full group. Like you have to be married at every position, every level possible. Like I got to be able to go up to an O lineman or to CJ or whoever and have the exact same conversation I would have if I sitting right next to my guys in the safeties room. You know, like we need to be one big family. Everybody needs to laugh, cut up, go hang out, whatever, because you're with the same dudes for a long period of time during the year. And if you don't, and I've always heard this, if you don't really like the dudes you're working with, you're going to hate work. But in my past few years, I love going to work. So I feel like I'm going to bring that sort of attitude, that mindset to the locker room. And just, like I said, just be me, just be my authentic self and, kind of just vibe with everybody, see what everybody's doing. And we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Sarge. We'll go to Michael Shapiro.
Just a quick follow-up, Reed. Did you have a chance to go to the rodeo at all or visit Energy Stadium, anything like that?
He literally just said he didn't. Like he literally just said that he didn't get to go to the rodeo, but he would like to.
No, not really. I just went in there and obviously they had all the commotion and I'm like, well, I probably won't get to see a whole lot, but I'm super excited to see everything else though when I go back.
Do you have any pairs of cowboy boots right now, or do you need to get some?
No, I have like 3 or 4. I'm vetted.
No, thank you, my man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. Reed, thank you. We'll have Logan on short.
All right, there you go. So Logan Hall. I had a meeting during that. The Alpha, y'all. I asked him where the Alpha was. The Alpha was in the Logan Hall. He was, I think he was working on a story there for real. So Reed Blankenship, no surprise that he said that DeMeco Ryans wanted him. I think that's pretty obvious that DeMeco's wanted a safety for a while. They like the team captain stuff. They like the leadership. They like the battle tested. That's just kind of one of their things. So no surprise there. Coming up, the positional rankings of the Texans. We'll also get to some of the comments, but first, let's talk about the greatness of Ace Outdoor Solutions. Shout out to Zach. Zach gets it done. You look in your backyard, if you're a homeowner, there's a lot of times there's just like some underutilized things. There's a lot of opportunity. When you see someone who has a backyard that is maximized, whether it's a pool, whether it's a hot tub, whether it's an awesome fence, awesome custom patio coverings. I like going outside in the rain and just sitting outside in the rain, watching it rain, and just relaxing and looking. And sometimes you look at the fence, you're like, I want to get that fixed. Sometimes you look at the corner, you're like, dang, I want a hot tub. I'd love a hot tub. Or I'd love an outdoor kitchen. If you have a grill, they can look out for you in a number of ways. Zach has a vision. Zach will work with you. Zach is a Texans fan, just like you, and he'll work in the greater Houston area. Go to aceoutdoorsolutions.com if you want to check out some of his work. It's awesome. No job too big, no job too small. He's got you covered. He's got a vision, and he will maximize your backyard experience. So get a free quote at 346-237-0573. Possibilities are endless, and Zach can do a heck of a lot of things. Let's go to Z chat.
Swarm.
On the chat, Trucker Cam TX says you should get Cody to run a 40 since he's going in the first this year. I wonder what his time would be. He wouldn't, I mean, it would be in the sevens probably. Cody right now, probably sevens, and he would pull something if you had Cody run a 40. There's zero doubt that would not be good. It's not good if you're not if you're not sprinting. I know they had a media combine a couple of years ago, and one of the old heads, the one of the radio guys at the country station tried to run a 40, and he actually ended up having to get knee surgery. Not a good idea. And Cody's heavy, and that would not be great for him.
Swarm.
Tier 1 Jim. Who would you say our best O lineman is currently? That's a good question. Damn. I guess Ariante Ursery. And I expect Ariante Ursery to get better. I guess Ursery. We'll see what Ed Ingram looks like. Wyatt Teller has the best body of work. His recent track record, not great. Kind of the same with Braden Smith, although he wasn't as good of a player as Wyatt Teller. Jake Andrews not in the conversation. Trent Brown was really good last year when he was in. I don't know if you can put him up there. It's a balanced O-line, but yeah, that's a really good question. I think a lot of people would probably say Ariante Ursery, but when you put it like that, yeah, it doesn't look as good. Like you feel better about the offensive line, but then you ask that. That's a really effing good question, Tier 1 Jim. I'll go with Ursery, but God, that's a hell of a question. We'll see what Teller looks like. Yeah, healthy Trent Brown last year was pretty good. It's just kind of hard to think of that. Brandon asks a good question. Do we give King Cole credit for Reed Blankenship? You know, I feel like I've been giving King Cole a lot of credit for a lot of things. Maybe I should give him some credit for that. Yeah, King Cole, let's give him some credit for the Blankenship pick. We'll give him credit for everything. I'm going to give him credit for the number changes because that's kind of how we've been going. Malik on the chat. I don't know where this one's going.
Swarm.
He says drinking and watching right now. What does Malik sip on? Malik seems like a beer. He's sipping on some brew. Let me guess, like some Coors Light or something. Are you drinking whiskey? I don't know. That probably like Coors Light or something. Let me know what you're sipping on, Malik. I'm trying to guess the drink. Drinking some brew. He says Cody and you need better casting on the other podcast. You're talking about the Texans Collective. He said perhaps McClain or John Lopez from 610. Will you root for D. Watson? I like my collective crew. Big fan of Sean Pendergast. I like the Reggie insight. McClain, love McClain. Have him on every once in a while here, like him. Lopez doesn't really follow the Texans that closely. It's so that would be kind of a waste too. So yeah, not that. Will I root for Deshaun Watson? No, I won't root for Deshaun Watson. He's a Brown. But I still appreciate what Deshaun Watson did when he played here, and covering that and maintaining journalistic integrity while doing so. It was a challenge. Just because you want to make sure you don't put too much on him. You want to read accusations like they're accusations, and you want to keep an open mind. I feel like me and John Lopez, he did a really good job, and he was a good teammate along the way for that. But I think that Deshaun Watson from 17 to 20 is the best quarterback that this organization has never had. So no, I will not root for Deshaun Watson at this point. I'm not like passionately rooting against, but I'm also not going to take away what he did 2017, 2020 through 2020 and the greatness that he provided on the field. Some people kind of have started like minimizing that. And I just think that's disingenuous. Like I always talk about there's two types of people that watch football. There's guys who watch ball and there's guys who ride balls. And I think as soon as Deshaun Watson left, what happened. But if you were talking about how great he was from 17 to 20 and you never really saw him play bad in a Texans uniform, to now act like he wasn't good on the field, I think that's the emotional state of a ball rider, not a ball watcher. That's just really kind of a little bit weird for me. But no, I will not be rooting for him to answer it in the long-winded way. St. Louis Rebel says these Texans fans on X are wild. That's always dangerous.
Swarm.
He says, why are they asking for DeAndre Hopkins or Keenan Allen? Jaden Higgins just had 500-plus yards as a rookie. Why mess up his development? Next year should be a 1,000-yard season for him. Man, the other day on this chat, I got a little bit distracted because I was reading the messages, and someone had said that the Texans signed DeAndre Hopkins. And sometimes like in the chat, people give like news and you look at it and you kind of react to it. First of all, I would have thought that would have been insane because it makes no sense. I'm with you. It makes no sense. Second of all, this just isn't really like a chat where you just throw stuff out there and all that. So I had to put the guys in timeout while I was on the go. I don't know. There's some things that will not go away when it comes to storylines here. One of them is the Oilers uniforms. You need to let that go. And I think the Texans kind of add some fuel to the fire during the uniform process, but you need to let that go. The other one is DeAndre Hopkins. What purpose does DeAndre Hopkins serve? Maybe he's a fifth wide receiver. He was kind of passive aggressively, and he deleted the tweet right after, which is kind of what DeAndre Hopkins does a lot. But he was complaining about his usage in Baltimore and saying that he never complained. He said, I never complained about my usage. Well, you just did. And then he deleted the tweet. But I don't really I don't get the DeAndre Hopkins thing. Now, there was another one that I was going to say, but those people have kind of been vindicated. The Texans need to bring in a Kubiak. Look pretty good. And he looks like he's doing the right thing. So those people were kind of vindicated. But I don't understand the DeAndre Hopkins thing. I don't understand why it's even being brought up. He kind of F's with people and knows that it can generate some reaction. He did that a couple of years ago. And I think he wanted to come here. But at this point, I'm with you. You have Nico. You have your guys 1 through 4. And then we'll see what happens with Tank. And if you want to draft a younger guy, fine. But this team needs, and this was something that I actually teased, and good assist from you, Rebel. I always appreciate you. You are the man. This team needs depth and they need speed. We talked about the two positions. This team needs depth and this team needs speed. DeAndre Hopkins has no speed. Jaden Higgins has the possibility of becoming a really good red zone threat. So, yeah, I don't get the DeAndre Hopkins thing. It's really weird. You've seen him play on I don't know how many teams since. It's a weird thing to even say or even bring up the DeAndre Hopkins thing. It's so dumb. I really don't get it. I don't understand it, and I have no idea. So I'm with you, Rebel. I think it's bizarre, weird, strange, and I like the second-year receivers taking the next step. I take I'm buying the stock a little bit. Will M says wide receivers a sneaky need, Landry. I don't know if X is going to give it to you. Well, He's gotten better. You're talking about Xavier Hutchinson. In a perfect world, he's your number 4 guy, and you see what happens, and he continues to get better. He is in the final year of his deal. And you also have Tank Dell, who he's in the final year of his deal, and I think it's unrealistic to expect Tank to be anything close to what he was in 2023. I think it's disrespectful to him. We don't have to necessarily rehash that right now. There's plenty of time for that. So you're going to have 3 wide receivers under contract. So if the opportunity presents itself and they feel that they can add a receiver, I think they could. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a need. Maybe I'm getting a little bit semantic. But yeah. And then they have Justin Watson. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with him and how he fits. But yeah, the wide receiver thing is interesting. Primetime V on the chat says, it just very much feels like interior defensive line will be the pick at 28. Wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't have a problem with it. I think it's an area where they could improve big time. And I'll elaborate on that when we go through the full position rankings. And it's also, I think there's a possibility. I did the mock draft today, which was really unrealistic. That's why I don't like mock drafts. But I did a mock draft today on SNL where I got both Lee Hunter and Caden McDonald, which was weird. I also got Sowers and Roush. It was weird. And Zachariah Branch. This is why I don't do mock drafts. There was a rule that I couldn't take offensive line. A lot of you probably already saw that. But yeah, D-line, I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it at all. If you can do that. All Good says Landry and Lopez beef. There's no beef. It was brought up in a super chat, and I just said doesn't necessarily follow the team, but he's an awesome partner when it comes to covering journalism stuff. No beef at all. Not even close to a beef. I wasn't the one who brought that up. It's all good. Nothing serious there. Just wouldn't want him on the collective, which is what Malik brought up. Reminder: join us at Spanky's Friday the 27th. Next Friday, we got a lot to get into. We'll be less than a month away from the draft. There's some moving parts on this draft party that's going to be epic. For day 3. Very excited for that. But Spanky's gatherings are the core of kind of the diehard portion of the fan base and the community. And we look forward to hanging out with you there on the 27th. Quite frankly, it gets more intense between the show before and after than that. It's always pretty funny. Okay, so Malik says he drinks Rumple Mints. Now that is a crazy SOB right there. The Rumple Mints that's an interesting choice to just be sipping on. That's always like the shot that you get with the beer. I remember one time I was at my local watering hole. This was way earlier in my radio career. And I was at that local watering hole probably Monday through Friday. But someone else who I worked with on the radio, he lived in the neighborhood. And I was sitting at the bar, and this was after we'd gotten off the air, I think. And he walks in the bar while I'm there, and he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to be here for a sec. I got to go pick up my daughters from school." And I'm like, "Okay, what are you doing here?" And he goes, "Hey, Matthew, hey, just give me about a half of Rumple Mints and a vodka soda, a double vodka soda tall." I'm like, "Okay." He just shoots down the Rumpies, chugs the vodka tall, puts 20 on the table, and then goes, "All right, I'm gonna go pick up my daughter. Bye." I was like, "Okay, I see you." Are y'all old enough to remember the Four Horsemen shots back in the day? Back in the day when they had the Four Horsemen, it was kind of in the Jaeger era. So it's probably early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. Back when Jaeger was kind of what Fireball is now. Some people still like Jaeger. I still appreciate some Jaeger. It's just not as popular. I don't know what happened. It's like 50 Cent Wankster. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. That's Jaeger. 50 singing the Jaeger in that. What else was the ish? The first Four Locos, those were the ish. But the 4 horseman shots, like you get those 4 horseman shots, woo-wee. Ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. Toast says, what did Stover do to deserve a single digit number? Yeah, I saw Stover changed his number to 8. Don't really get that. Don't really understand that. Yes, 4 horsemen does equal blackout. God, that was just a disastrous shot. You look back at that, and sometimes you like take shots like everyone goes through like the Jaeger phase. Fireball feels like it's here to stay. Vegas bombs, like all types of shots, lemon drops. Just you go down the shot list. Hey, get me one of those. 4 horsemen, you just never really made sense of it. It never really made sense why we were ordering that. But we did. We live and learn. There we go. I don't think it's a thing anymore. I don't think the young heads aren't really drinking as much, which is awesome. Young kids are more open to that
high grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
But yeah, that's just kind of what that is. Tequila never dies. Tequila never dies. I won't get too much into tequila stories. Let's get into position rankings. So I've put together the Texans pre-draft positional rankings. And I know we always agree on everything said in here, so I'm sure I'll get no pushback here. But I've ranked all the position groups from 9 to 1 heading into the draft. Now, I emphasize heading into the draft because there's opportunity to improve these position groups. There's massive opportunity to improve these position groups. And I think if you've watched the Texans and you've watched the way that they've drafted in the last couple of years, especially on day 2, I think you probably like what they're capable of doing and what they could do when it comes to upgrading these position groups. I think it's an exciting opportunity. But there are some areas that need it a little more than others. I will elaborate on why these rankings came about. There's no set in stone formula because there's a lot of reasons and what's taken into account. But I would just break down each position group, and I think you know where this is going. Tell me what I think. If you're in here often, if you're in here, what do you think I'm going to have as the worst position group heading into the draft? What is the worst position group going into the draft? You already know. You already know. Tight end. You got to be better at tight end. Rich Boy J, right on cue on the chat. Just the alley-oop right there.
Swarm.
Damn it. Who do you have more faith in, Stover or Brevin? Damn. You have to factor in injuries with both, more so with Brevin than Stover. Neither one of these guys have really had a beginning to end, like, awesome season, like 100% top of the rotation tight end season. And Brevin's coming off the 2 injuries. Can Stover come back in year 3 and just look unrecognizable and look like he can suddenly play? And can Brevin Jordan be anything close to what you would hoped he would have been 2 years ago before he had the 2 season-ending injuries? Damn. I really don't have faith in either one of them, but it's hard for me to say Stover because he can't block. I don't think he's a very good blocker. I've seen some stats that say, like, advanced stats that said he's a good blocker. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if they're not having context. I don't know what this is based on. It's like when someone talks about pass rush win rate. It's like, tell me what it is. Oh, you can't? Okay. So I don't know how that's getting measured. It all of a sudden became something that came down. So, oh man, I guess I'll say Brevin, because if you have Brevin on the roster, I don't think you're expecting him to be a blocker. I think you're kind of using him as kind of like the hybrid in motion, like TE3, TE4 type of thing. So I'll say Brevin. And we'll see what happens with Stover. Hopefully Stover comes in and looks awesome and makes me look like a dumbass. So I'll just go ahead and say, I'll say Brevin because I'm so out on Cade Stover. So I'm gonna say Brevin. The Cade Stover can't make basic plays. Brevin Jordan at least has like some sort of athleticism. So I'm gonna say Brevin Jordan over Stover. But I think the tight end group is the worst. And we just broke down the bottom of the depth. I don't know what Dalton Schultz is going to look like next year. Last time he had a good year, he followed it up with a really bad year. I think they got to compliment him. But the tight end room, I know Foster Moreau is being brought up. For me, Foster Moreau is like a probably better Cade Stover. And he could look like Bryant did last year, Harrison Bryant. I don't think you take Foster Moreau and all of a sudden you feel great about the tight end room. So it's still a big problem. It's still the weakest position on the team. It's still a position where if you add a couple of guys or one guy, I think that you can improve the overall outlook of this team as a whole. You can help the offensive line and the quarterback, but it's by far the worst. So that's number 9. Number 8 is the O-line. And I think there's possibility that the O-line can improve. I think they can add some pieces, but the 2 vets you brought in, you don't know what they're going to look like. Sometimes when these vets come in, they look really bad. Sometimes they look revived. I think you feel good about Ariante Ursary. I think you feel all right about Ingram and Trent Brown. You don't know how long he's going to be there. You don't know who's going to start between he and Smith. There's a lot of bodies. I think it's an unfinished product. And there's also ways around it. You can scheme around it. The quarterback can make plays. They can be well coached. And you can win despite it. Still think it could be better than last year's and likely will. But the offensive line, I'm not going to sit here and say I feel awesome about the offensive line. I got to see if Wyatt Teller can be closer to what he was 3 years ago than what he's been the last 2. Got to see what the Braden Smith, Trent Brown thing looks like. And that's really that. So offensive line's number 8. Number 7's linebacker. Some may say this is a little bit harsh. There's you played 2 linebackers. And then you have EJ Speed as your backup. Jalen Petrie is, I'm considering him a safety for the sake of this exercise. I like what Aziz did last year. Is he going to continue that? I don't know. There's a lot of wear and tear. It gets a lot tougher this time of the year. Henry To'oTo'o, he was really good last year, and there were times where he was really bad. What does it look like this year? Do the guys hold up? And then EJ Speed, good backup. Okay. I feel okay about the linebackers. I also look at the linebackers like this. I think that the linebackers are beneficial. They benefit from their surroundings. I think they benefit from their surroundings. That's what I would say is that they benefit from their surroundings. So I'm going to put the linebackers at 7. 6 running back. Woody Marks. I think he's going single digit too. What is Woody Marks going to? 4. Montgomery, I like that duo. I think they're gonna mix it up a little bit. I don't know why. I'm holding out hope that Nick Caley will get these guys involved in the pass game. Probably some crazy hope, but I'm gonna put running back at number 6. Number 5, D-line. And I'm talking interior D-line here. The defensive linemen. So this is DT, D-line. I think that Sheldon Rankins and Tommy Togiai do a really good job. And again, they have good surroundings. I also put a asterisk here because I think there's zero doubt they're going to add a more than capable rotational guy in the draft. And I also think they're going to add a guy who could potentially be someone with some high upside. So that's number 5 D line. Number 4 wide receiver. I'm buying the stock of the second year guys. This might be dangerous. Nico Collins, will he rock the Guardian cap or not? That's TBD. Xavier Hutchinson's been clutch, and then we'll see what happens on the back end there. But I think 1 through 4, you feel pretty good about these guys, and I think Jaden Higgins is going to get better. I think Noel's going to get better. Christian Kirk is not in the way. So this is kind of perhaps buying a little bit too high on the wide receivers, but I like what they got cooking at wideout. I think they did a good job last year in the draft of addressing that. Number 3, we just heard from Blankenship, safety. And when you lump Jalen Petrie in here, this is kind of a no-brainer to where you could maybe even move him more up the list. if Petrie's going to play this year like he did last year and not get caught in coverage or anything like that. So, yeah, Bullock, Pro Bowl alternate. Yeah, Blankenship, the best safety duo that you've had. And then you have Jalen Petrie doing what he did. And then you have some backups. You have a nice mix of veteran backup with MJ Stewart, and then young backup with Jalen Reed, who can kind of develop behind these guys and can fill in accordingly. The safety position stacked and loaded right now. So that's number 3. And then number 2, this is not based on depth. This isn't a top to bottom. Like safety, you can go top to bottom, and you can say that these guys are really, really good top to bottom. Corner, it's just the top 2 guys, and then we'll see what happens at 3. You got Stingley and Lassiter, 2 Pro Bowl caliber cornerbacks. I'm going to put that near the top. It's best duo in the league, I think. We'll see what Jalen Smith has. They might add some cornerback depth in the draft, but I put corner at number 2. And then number 1, same kind of approach as the corner, but on the edge, you have Will Anderson, second in defensive player of the year, and Daniil Hunter, who's playing at a PB level. So these are the pre-draft position rankings. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what you disagree with. The top 2 are just based on top end depth. They don't really have it. I think safety top to bottom is the best. Perhaps buying a little bit too high on wide receiver. I just like the potential of the Iowa State guys. D-line easily climb up the list depending on what they do in the draft. I think you could get a big impact guy. And then RB, I think it's a good duo. And I like the duo of those 2. Kind of selling high, I think, on linebacker. I'm just not buying it to look as good as it did last year. Although the surroundings do make it a little bit easier, I think they need more depth there. And then O-line, offensive line, we'll see what happens with that. I think there's going to be some changes. It would be crazy to completely buy into what they've done, although there are some possibilities. And there is intrigue in tight end. We don't need to say what we've said 100 times when it comes to the tight end. So, yeah, did not include quarterback. Quarterback probably would have been right there at 5 on that list. Maybe. Yeah, I think 5, 6, something like that. But we'll see how CJ handles his mindset, the mental makeup. I saw that Woody Marks had he took the shot today. Can Woody Marks hoop? Did he make the shot? I saw that Togiai was like draining threes before and he missed. Did Woody Marks make the rocket shot today or not? Does anyone know? Let's see. Woody Marks shot. There's always like a news person who gets the shot. Did he? Woody Marks just doesn't look like he hoops. Maybe he does. Woody Marks shot. Man, they're showing me like crime stuff. There's no like Woody Marks first shot. Yeah, I don't know whether he made it. Did anyone go to the game? Peep the scene. Do not see it. Do not see it. So no, who knows? I would bet against it. I would bet against it. Most of the Texans make the shot when they go out there and do what they do. But those are the positional rankings. A lot of opportunity. 36 days away from the draft. Look forward to seeing y'all at Spanky's on the 27th. Draft party going to be insane. And SNL mock draft season continues. Shout out to everyone for coming through. Appreciate y'all for rolling. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Possibilities.
Top 2 and we not too plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up, we number 1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.